Hello everyone, Glenda here in Montreal in January when it's minus 23 in Montreal. So I'm not outside unless I need to be outside, and I don't need to be outside, therefore I'm inside drawing, painting, and apparently going through my old video footage. I have quite a bit of footage from this past summer. Point of view footage from plein air drawings and some paintings. What I might do is for the rest of the winter, when I am not filming something from home, I will share footage from this past summer, and hopefully you'll find that entertaining, although I might not narrate if you prefer sounds of nature. So please tell me what your preference is in the comments. If you want to be more up to date on what I do at all times, I update my Instagram feed much more often. In any case, this particular day at the Botanicals this summer, I decided I really wanted to draw this wispy, very pretty bush with white and pink flowers. I waited until the end of day so I could sit in front of it because the trail in front of it is fairly narrow and I didn't want to be in everybody's way. And even then, there were still a few people that came by. But this was really end of day, so it was probably around 6:30 in the afternoon, and the sun was not going to be setting because it sets fairly late in Montreal during the summer. At the peak, sunset's probably around 9 p.m. But after 6 o'clock, there's a lot less people in the gardens. Now, one of the things that was the most difficult to do for this drawing was I really wanted to convey how wispy, light, and airy the bush was, but at the same time, I was using charcoals, which are not necessarily light. They're very powdery, they can get very dark and very messy. So I couldn't really use light values to do this. I needed to go dark, and by contrast, then I could lift the charcoal and show the wispy little flowers that were white and pink. Because of this, it took me a little while to get this going, and it doesn't look the way I want it to look until the very, very end. I had to layer several layers of lines to make the bush very bushy. So it had a lot of stems. And you could see I started with very light ones and I darkened it and several layers of them. And I started with vine charcoal, then I went with compressed charcoal, and I ended with pencil charcoal. The vine charcoal I use is always the Windsor and Newton one that I have. The compressed charcoal is always Nitram, and I almost always use my General's charcoal pencils. Those pencils are usually in hard and in extra softs, or 2B and 6B. Anything I use will be in the description. Ultimately, the beauty of this bush to me was really those little flowers, because the basis of the bush was very dense, but all the wispiness came from all the little branches, and they feel like they float and take air, and every time you go by they move around. It's just a very pretty bush. That's the reason I basically sat down and wanted to draw it. I might do it again another year and see if I can do it with paints or with color. But I think it was a really great exercise to do this in black and white. Ultimately, I needed to go back and use my Tombow Mono Zero eraser, because even though after I put in the flowers, it looks better if the actual stems were actually light and there was more contrast. So I went from lighter, darker, all the shades in between, colored stems, well, value stems, and then the light ones. Oftentimes at the very end of a drawing, it's not a question of adding more details so much as oftentimes it's not about that, it's about darkening things and lightening things, so putting the highlights and the darks. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this. If you prefer these plein air sessions without any narration, please tell me. This one was a short one, so I thought, might as well narrate. In any case, I'll see you guys next week. Ciao!